Ever find yourself scrolling through photos from a trip and you're like, wait, what even was that place?
Oh, totally. It's like the memory is there, but also kinda not.
Right. The Eiffel Tower, sure. But the feeling of being there?
Ooh.
Gone. Which, by the way, is kind of a bummer, right?
The worst. Like, what's the point of these amazing experiences if we can't actually remember them?
Exactly. So for today's deep dive, we're tackling how to turn those fleeting moments, especially the travel ones, into memories that actually last.
Ooh, I like where this is going. Sign me up.
And our guide for this is Roberta Hill.
Mm.
She's got this fantastic blog post called Creating Memorable Experiences. And let me tell you, it's packed with wisdom.
What I love about Roberta's approach is that she's not some, like, memory guru. She just seems to have figured out how to really save her life.
Totally. And she's got, like, decades of experience to back it up. She's in her 70s and still out there adventuring. So clearly, she's onto something.
Okay, so what's her secret? Spill the tea.
Well, she makes this really interesting point right at the beginning. Making memories stick takes effort. It's not passive. You got to be intentional about it.
It's like you don't just accidentally remember something
Ugh.
perfectly, right? There's a difference between, like, just hearing something versus actually listening.
Yes, it's about being present,
Yeah.
engaged, not just, as Roberta puts it, living through it.
Okay, that makes sense, but how do we actually do that? Give us the actionable steps.
She's got this whole recipe for memorable experiences, and the first ingredient is all about engaging your senses.
Hold up, isn't that what we're already doing when we travel? Like, taking in the sights, the sounds?
She takes it way further. Think about it. When you remember a place you've been, what comes to mind first? Is it just what you saw?
Good point. I guess it's more than that.
Is the smell of spices from a street vendor? The feel of cobblestones under your feet? Those sensory details, those are what make memories stick.
Oh, I totally get that. It's like I can close my eyes and still almost taste that incredible pasta I had in Rome.
Exactly. And Roberta's point is, we often forget about those other senses. We get so caught up in taking pictures that we forget to actually experience the moment with all our senses.
Okay, I'm listening. So how do we actually put this into practice? Like, what should we be doing differently on our next trip?
It's like, instead of just snapping a photo of that amazing view, really take a second to actually see it. What colors stand out? What do you smell?
And not just the good smells either. Like, I remember this one time I was hiking in Thailand and there was this, like, pungent fish sauce smell coming from somewhere. Wasn't exactly pleasant at the time, but now it totally takes me back to that moment.
See, it's those unexpected sensory details that really make a memory come alive.
Yeah.
And speaking of unexpected, Roberta also talks about the importance of, well, surprise.
Okay, now this I gotta hear. Because I am a planner through and through, like spreadsheets, itineraries, the whole nine yards. So how do you plan for surprises? Seems kind of counterintuitive, right?
Right, but she's not saying you need to, like, hire a skywriter to spell out your name or something.
Yeah.
It's more about being open to the unplanned moments, the detours, the things you weren't expecting.
Okay, that I can get on board with. I mean, some of my best travel stories are the ones where things went hilariously wrong. Remember that time we got hopelessly lost in Venice?
Don't even get me started. But you see, that's exactly what makes it a great memory. If everything had gone according to plan, it would have been like, oh yeah, Venice, pretty canals. Moving on.
Totally. There's something about those unexpected moments that just makes them stick with you. Our brains love novelty, so when we're surprised, we pay more attention. It's like our brain's way of saying, hey, this is important, remember this.
Exactly. So embrace the detours, folks. And while you're at it, how about picking up a souvenir that actually means something?
No, you mean like ditch the cheesy I Heart NY t-shirts and actually find something unique?
Exactly. Roberta's big on finding keepsakes that connect back to a specific moment or feeling. It's not just a random object, it's a memory trigger.
Like that little woven bracelet I got from that artisan in Peru. Still wear it all the time, and every time I look at it, I remember her story, her incredible craftsmanship. It's way more meaningful than any mass-produced souvenir.
See, that's what it's all about. And then, to really solidify those memories, Roberta suggests doing a little something she calls sensory snapshots.
Sensory snapshots. Okay, you're gonna have to explain this one. Sounds awfully artsy for a non-creative type like me.
It's actually super simple. Instead of waiting to the end of the day to journal, she suggests jotting down a few words about what you're experiencing right then. Just little sensory details, the scent of jasmine in the air, the feel of the warm sand on your feet.
So it's like taking little mental pictures throughout the day. But instead of photos, it's words.
Exactly. And the act of actually writing it down even if it's just a sentence or two, helps cement that memory in your mind.
I can see how that would be way more effective than that travel journal I tried to keep once. You know, the one where I wrote like 2 entries and then gave up.
I've been there. But this is different. It's not about writing a novel. It's about capturing those little moments, those sensory details that would otherwise slip away.
Yeah.
And you know what I love about this approach? It kind of takes the pressure off. Like, I don't have to remember everything, just a few key details.
It's like giving yourself permission to be more present in the moment, you know? Because let's face it, when we're so busy trying to document every single thing for Instagram, are we even really experiencing it?
So true. We end up with these picture-perfect feeds, but maybe not so many actual memories.
Which ironically kind of defeats the purpose of traveling in the first place, right? And this actually brings us to a bigger theme that Roberta touches on: mindfulness.
Ooh, okay. Mindfulness. I feel like that word gets thrown around a lot these days. What's Roberta's take on it?
Well, she's not talking about like sitting cross-legged on a mountaintop or anything. It's much more grounded than that. For her, mindfulness is really just about bringing your full attention to the present moment no matter what you're doing.
So even if that moment happens to involve, say, navigating a crowded train station in a foreign country.
Exactly. It's about finding those little pockets of awareness amidst the chaos. Like, instead of stressing about catching your train, maybe you notice the sound of the train announcements or the smell of the bakery in the station.
It's like shifting from, ugh, get me out of here, to, wow, look at this moment unfolding right here, right now.
And guess what? This whole mindfulness thing isn't just some new age fad. Roberta connects it directly to memory formation.
Wait, really? So being more present actually helps us remember things better.
It's true. When we're fully engaged with our senses, our brains are more likely to encode those experiences as memories.
Makes sense. It's like we're telling our brains, hey, this is important, pay attention.
And there's another layer to this whole mindfulness thing that I found super interesting. Roberta's a big believer in the power of gratitude. And guess what? Gratitude actually strengthens our memories too.
Okay, now this is blowing my mind. So if I'm like marveling at the beauty of a sunset, and I take a moment to actually feel grateful for that experience, my brain's more likely to hang on to that memory.
You got it. Our brains seem to prioritize experiences we associate with positive emotions, and gratitude is like the ultimate positive emotion.
Okay, so we've talked about engaging our senses, embracing the unexpected, being present, and practicing gratitude. Anything else we should be doing to make those travel memories stick?
Well, Roberta talks a lot about the importance of connecting with locals and not just in a superficial, where's the bathroom kind of way.
There's all about those genuine interactions, right? Like actually taking the time to chat with people, even if you don't speak the same language.
It's those shared human experiences that often create the most vivid memories. A smile, a laugh, a story exchanged. Those are the moments that stay with us long after we've unpacked our suitcases.
So to wrap things up, if we want to turn our travels into lasting memories, we need to ditch the autopilot and really engage with our surroundings.
Be present, be curious, be grateful, and don't be afraid to step outside of your comfort zone. You never know what amazing memories you might create.
Beautifully said. Roberta Hill, everyone. A round of applause for that wisdom. And listeners, we hope you found this deep dive insightful and inspiring. Remember, your next unforgettable adventure is just around the corner.